Hey, this is Brian with the Seat Shop. Today we're going to address seat heater issues for Chevy and GMC full-size trucks and SUVs, year range from 03 to 06. So anything Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, Sierra, Denali, Avalanche from 03 to 06. We're going to walk you through all the little components to show you how to test which seat heater is burned out. It's a pretty common problem. Whenever you turn your seat heater on your button on the control panel here, they'll usually turn on from anywhere between, a couple seconds up to a minute, and then a lot of times the button will click off. The heaters will turn off. So we're going to show you how to, pull the top heater out, the bottom heater out, how to test it all while it's still in the truck, so you can get it all figured out and know which one you need to replace. In order to be able to test to see which heater's out, either top or bottom, you need to have two new heaters, one top and one bottom, to be able to properly test to see which one's burned out. Now, if only one of them's burned out, you can send the other one back to us. We'll give you a refund on that. But in order to test them all, it's good to have both of them on hand so you can properly test it. Sometimes they're both burned out, and then if they're both burned out, you got them both on hand, you can go and do the repair. But at least one of them's burnt out, or your thing wouldn't be tripping off all the time. Now, when you start going through all the different combinations of connections, when you go ahead and turn the panel on the door here, you want to make sure you hit the right button. The one on the left here just turns on the seat top heater. You want to make sure that you hit the bottom one that does the seat bottom and top at the same time. So always make sure you hit this button so it turns both the heaters on and not just one or the other. Hit that one and it'll be good. Now let's go ahead and start plugging and playing here and testing to see which one's wrong. We're going to go through a couple of the tools that you need to pull the seat. You just need to unbolt the seat so you can rock the seat forward. That way you can get to all the clips underneath where all the heaters are plugged in so we can do some testing. We got an 11 millimeter socket. We got a 15 millimeter socket. You need a long extension to get some of the front bolts. A magnet, a flathead screwdriver, and a regular socket drive or an impact, whatever you got. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this and rock the seat forward so we can get to the clips. Now you'll need to move your seat all the way back. Let's hit it's all the way back to get to these front two bolts. The fronts are going to be the 15s. I'm going to hit those real quick. The inside piece has a little plastic trim piece that goes around it. You'll see it when you get down there. This little piece comes off. To get to the second bolt. Okay. That inside one will come off. The one closest to the outside, it's nice to have a magnet to get it out because it's kind of recessed down into the seat track. There we go. All right, now we're going to slide our seat all the way forward. We're going to change to our 11 millimeter. The back two are going to be on 11. Okay. There's one. Pull that one there. Now, you need to go ahead and adjust your seat all the way back. Now that it's unbolted, scoot it all the way back, and you also want to adjust the seat as high as it'll go. So once we get it back here, we'll go ahead and trim them up with the front here, back. This is just going to give you some more clearance to get to some of these clips. Now, there's two seat heaters. You got a bottom and a top. Here's the bottom piece, and it's got one small little 2-pin connector. Now, the top piece is going to have two connectors to it. You got this large 6-pin connector and this green pin. So the bottom heater actually plugs into the pigtail off of the top heater. So they hook together to one another. So we're going to get underneath. First, we're going to find the connection, the two green connections. That's going to be closest to the console, all the way on the floor, back in the back right corner underneath the seat. That's the first connection for what we're looking for. This one's going to be kind of in the middle of the seat. So those are the two we're going to look for. We'll rock this forward and get up underneath the seat and show you what's going on down there. Okay. You can push this all the way up to the dash. And here's what we're looking for right here. Here's our green connection right here. So the first situation we're going to test is undoing. We're going to assume that the driver bottom seat heater is burned out. So we're going to unplug the green connection here, and we're going to plug in the new seat bottom heater. We're going to turn it on the door and make sure that the system works. If it clicks off, then that means we got a problem with our top heater too. All right, we get a little flathead. It helps to have a second person to hold the seat up for you while you get underneath here. Here we go. That connection's undone. Now we're going to take the new heater. Here's the bottom. We're going to plug this in to that old connection. Here we go. Now we can go ahead and turn the vehicle on, hit our button for the seat heaters to make them turn on, see if this heats up, make sure it doesn't click off. You want to make sure it runs for a couple minutes. Make sure it doesn't click off. If that solves your problem, then you're good. You can also take the whole seat apart, take the covers off, and you'll see a burn mark on the seat heater. That'll let you know that it's burned out. That's what's causing it to short. This just allows you to test it without having to strip your whole seat down, take all the upholstery off, and to find out that the seat's fine. Now you just did an hour worth of work for no reason. This way you can test it before you tear your whole seat apart. So if we turn the heater on and everything's good, and it's still, if we turn it on and it still kicks off, that means our top heater is going to be maybe burned out as well. So we're going to get to the second clip here, which is this gray 6-pin from earlier. We're going to disconnect it. Just take a little flathead so I can push down on the top of it. There we go. Now that's disconnected. So now we got our new heater. We're going to plug into this setting here. And we're going to plug the heater that we know is good, which is the new bottom. We're going to go ahead and plug this in to here. Now we know everything on the circuit's all new. Everything's in good shape. If we turn it on and everything works fine, we should be good. There's another scenario we could do is we could also, if everything's good with the two new heaters, we can undo the bottom one and plug the original bottom one in just to make 100% sure that the bottom one was the one tripping it. So we'll test this, make sure it's good, and then we'll also disconnect the new bottom from it, plug the old bottom in to see if we're good there, to see if that still runs or if it trips it. So you can plug that, and then we'll take the original and plug that piece in right there. Now if you were to leave one connection undone, it'll trip all the power off to it. So if you're just unplug the driver and hit the button on the wall, the driver bottom, and hit the button on the wall, it's still gonna trip. So if the connection's open, no matter whether the top piece is burnt out or not, it's gonna trip. Also, the passenger side is on a completely different circuit. So it's on the same circuit, but if the passenger side can run fine, you turn the drivers on, it'll trip both of them at the same time. So if one seat's in good shape, the heater will run until you turn the seat on that's not in good shape, that's got a burnt out deal on it, it'll trip both of them at the same time. So you're probably experiencing that. Once you test these two, you can figure out which one you need. Usually if you buy them both, you can test it all at the same time. If you find which one that you don't need to replace both of them, and you just need to replace one, you can send us back the other one that you don't need. That way you got both pieces on hand to test it, to see which one's burnt out, and then you can send us the other one you don't need back, or if you need both, you got them right there. Let's go ahead and button the seat back up and go ahead and bolt it back down to the floor. Let me hook this one. Now that we've tested all the connections and found out to see which one's burned out, you'll know which one, if you need to keep just one or if you need to keep both, if you need to send the other one back. it's not a problem. Just give us a call. Let us know you're sending it back, and you can send it on back in for a refund. That way you're not paying for what you don't need. Also, what we really focus on at the seat shop, everything for Ford and Chevy, trucks and SUVs, all the interior, all the leather work. So we do factory matched interiors for Ford and Chevy, trucks, SUVs. On the driver bottom, where you slide in and out, this part just gets hammered. The foam gets smashed down, the leather wears out, it rips, cracks, and breaks open. So we manufacture leather seat covers that match the factory original, so you can replace just the driver bottom or just an armrest, just the top, whatever piece is worn out, whatever piece that may be. You may have something in the second row that your kids or your dog chewed up or something, you need that replaced. We can get that done for you as well. But typically it's your driver bottom and driver armrest. So if you need any other interior needs other than the heaters, give us a call. We can take care of you. All we need is your VIN number, your vehicle. We can look up all your color codes and see exactly what you need. We also have a full line of install videos that show you how to take the seat apart and do the install on the driver bottom for the leather or the top or the arm. If you got any questions, give us a call at 214-710-2565 or check us out on the web at theseatshop.com.